All right, welcome to the Relationship Show. This guy writes his post, How to Stop Getting Attached to the Outcome Way Too Quickly. I recently posted asking how to avoid getting attached after sex. But I'm also realizing that even after 1 or 2 dates, even without sex on the table, I tend to get overly invested in the idea of what will happen. So one common thing you see is like once guys start getting laid and start having success, it's like they think they get complacent or they get caught up in the emotions that come along with it, and then they just revert back to like their just emotional responses and start chasing and pursuing and thinking that now that they've got sex, like now they got this thing locked in. But if they go back to those patterns, her attraction will drop, and then in most cases the relationship will fail. And so how to get around that is really to just keep putting work into studying about relationships to the point where you get these just hardwired into your behavior. And so when situations come, no matter what your emotions are feeling, it's like you always have those as a resource that you can call upon. He says, even if I don't particularly like the person, parentheses, in the early stages of dating, we don't even know each other, so liking them beyond a base level is impossible. Well, not always for guys. It's like if she is really beautiful and you go out with her on a couple of dates, it's like you can have a high level of attraction. But he says, but the idea of rejection and the subsequent emotional fallouts tend to devastate me. Yeah, I mean, when you get attached to the results, it's really coming from a place of fear. So it's like if you say, oh, I have to get this result, it really also creates that fear as well. Sometimes that can be useful, and I think actually that's some part of why goals are effective. It's like you have that like sometimes you have like a deadline, and so if you don't get that deadline, it's like that fear driving you to get there, and also like the pleasure of what you'll get with a goal. So using pain and pleasure. But if you act out of place of your fears and you're focused on what you're afraid of, like in this guy's case, worrying about them or fearing like he will lose them, then we act in a way that conveys that. And when she feels that, when she feels like you're afraid of losing her and just coming from really a weak place, it's like, well, her attraction is going to drop. So continuing on, he says, I find myself in the uncomfortable mindset of wondering if they will call. He's uncertain, which is not a masculine quality. Wondering if I'll get rejected, fear of loss. Being devastated if they don't call. And look at that word devastated. I mean, these consequences just create anxiety as far as these words he's using to describe them. Being thrilled when they do. And so now he's also attached to results instead of the process and the enjoyment of the process. Wondering if I'm just a potential booty call, or could I be viewed as more? Is this a guy or is this a girl? Interesting. I'll continue on here, see if I can figure it out. But my mind literally whirls with all these thoughts. I took a year off of dating, but coming back to it, I found nothing has changed in the way I frame things. So you're still in those same patterns. Okay, well, at least you're recognizing it. That's a start. Can anyone give me some insight into how to get away from this awful pattern of letting dating negatively affect my thought patterns? Just be aware if it's not the thought patterns affecting your dating and the other way around, because it's like the dating is more of an external thing, whereas the patterns are more of an internal thing. And, we guide our internal by really the questions we have, the focus we use, the language we use. Parentheses, for what it's worth, most of my dates don't end up going anywhere, and I've been offered the friends with benefits runner-up prize countless times. I just don't want this outcome to be so devastating to me. Okay, so whether you're a guy or a girl, it's like if you make progress, if you are making progress towards something, you will start to enjoy that process, because when you're making progress, that really kind of unleashes you feeling really happy. I mean, when you're making progress, you feel much more happy, and feel like your self-worth grows. And so when you're constantly making progress towards something, then it's like you feel better about yourself, and that pattern, that mindset will change. It's like your approach won't be the result. It's like each day of the process is a reward in itself. And so what I would say to you is start learning about relationships and enjoy learning about relationships and enjoy making that progress, that growth. And then once you grow, it's like then you have something to give. And then it creates a cycle of really fulfillment in your life.